Me all day, knockout. Make sure y'all tune in. I'm not playing. You hear me?
Quick question, bro.
Yeah.
Man, just how was this training camp different than maybe any others?
All this training camp is really not too much different. Because he trained. He loved to train. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now that he's at 154, what's different about him?
Well, he feels much comfortable now because he held 147 for like 10 years. So he feels comfortable now.
Most people are picking Jaron Ennis to beat Xander Zayas coming up June 27th at the Barclays Center in one of the best fights you can make in boxing. But I think they may be overlooking Xander Zayas.
And there's a lot of things that I can take advantage of. I got the speed, I got the power, I got the technique, I got the length, I got the strength, I got the IQ. There's a lot of things I can take into consideration when it comes to breaking down his style.
I got boots for him.
In what style? You think he's gonna go out 12?
I don't know. Jaron might put on the show.
And which round does it end?
9th round, Xander KO.
Xander KO?
KO.
He KO's Boots?
KO.
You think it's an upset?
I didn't stutter. Xander KO.
Huh? Listen, how does he impose his will on Boots?
I mean, he probably gonna come in at 190. So he probably gonna be heavy as shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't think Boots been hit with like no pop like that. You know what I'm saying, to be honest.
We have Zayas versus Boots coming up. How do you see that fight going?
Zayas is a hell of a fighter. He's very brave for taking the fight, so I tell my hat to him, but I'm gonna go with Boots.
A single moment on the scale completely destroyed weeks of expert predictions, throwing the boxing world into absolute chaos. For months, most people believed they had already figured out how the fight between Jaron Ennis and Xander Zayas would play out. But once both fighters stepped onto the scale under the bright lights at the weigh-in, everything suddenly changed. Several top insiders quickly abandoned their original picks and changed their predictions just hours before fight night. It was a dramatic twist that shocked fans and left oddsmakers rushing to adjust.
153 pounds for Jaron Boots Ennis, 153 pounds. And now to the scale, the defending unified world champion, Xander Zayas. 153.8 for Xander Zayas, 153.8 pounds.
What exactly took place during that final face-off to cause such a huge wave of second-guessing? And why is the entire story surrounding this unified championship showdown suddenly starting to fall apart?
Some big checks about Boots Ennis up on stage.
Yeah,
What has
let's hope he shows it.
What's motivated you to do so?
Well, because I've known for nearly a decade how good he is, and for 5 years before we signed him, I was trying to sign him. You know, Lance, I speak to, there's no one in the sport that goes, he's not as good as people say, he's overrated. They know how good he is, but you've still got to do it, right? And Xander Zayas is a very good fighter. Like, he's a fearless fighter, he's a tough fighter, he's a big 154 pounder. It might be easy, but it might not. But I just think you're going to see, like, all week, I've just been seeing a smile on his face, as if to say, I finally get to show the world how great I am. But he'll have to do it in a lot of noise, with a lot of Puerto Rican. I mean, it's going to be wild in there tomorrow night. So I'm really excited. It's a great fight, great card actually. And I believe you're going to see Boots put a performance that will make you guys just say he's the future.
The instant visual shock of that final face-off revealed a reality that no amount of tape study could have fully prepared anyone for. Xander Zayas completely stood over Jaron Ennis, creating a huge physical presence that immediately changed the mood in the room. This wasn't just a slight difference in height. It was a clear and undeniable size advantage that instantly reshaped the fight in the minds of thousands watching live. A huge number of fans and oddsmakers quickly changed their views, convinced that Zayas' natural size and frame could be too much for Boots to deal with. Social media and live streams were flooded with reactions from fans admitting they had no idea Zayas was that much bigger, with many immediately switching their bets to the naturally larger unified champion.
Xander Zayas, Jaron Boots Ennis, 12 rounds for the unified WBA and WBL Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Natural Boxing in association with Top Frank Incorporated and Boots Promotions live on the Zone from Brooklyn, New York, USA.
The fallout from that shocking visual moment caused a sudden shift that sparked major outrage, especially aimed at former champion Timothy Bradley. Bradley faced heavy criticism from the boxing community for his quick last-minute change of opinion, completely walking away from his original breakdown where he had clearly explained why Jaron Ennis would lose.
Yeah, I see some of y'all in the comment section because I read the damn comments. Yeah, I read the comments. Damn right, you damn right I read the comments because I want to know what my stormtroopers, and guests, what they think. Yeah, I see some of y'all so, oh man, you flip-flopping, you this, you backpedaling. No. What you talking about? No, man, ain't it you? The last time that I checked, damn, I got shit all on my face. Hey, last time I checked, a lot of people when I was doing the whole commentary shit. Oh, you so biased, cause I lean heavy one way. And oh, you so biased, Tim. I can't believe you need to get off TV. You can't be biased like that, being a commentator and all this shit. Yeah, and I go, I give analysis on one fighter on how he can win. I give analysis on the other fighter on how he can win. You know what I'm saying? And then I say, oh, you flip-flopping. Hell no, I've been saying Boots. Shit, from day one, I've been saying Boots. I said 60-40. Go back to the original video when this fight got announced. I said 60-40 Boots. What y'all talking about?
In less than 24 hours, he had fully switched sides and was now backing Jaron Ennis, sparking a huge backlash and strong accusations of backtracking from hardcore boxing fans. It's extremely rare to see a respected analyst change his stance at the very last moment. But the clear shock created by the weigh-in seemed to force that decision, leaving many viewers wondering what hidden factors had shaken his confidence so badly.
So I believe he's gonna come out and start fast. He's gonna come out, he's gonna start fast, he's gonna start with the banging, he's gonna start, doing the 1-2 stages, and that's where the problem gonna happen at. That's where the collide gonna happen, because Jaron Boots Ennis has great defense, he moves way too much, and he throws punches out of the blue. Mills, I'm gonna ask you one question. What is the punch that knocks you out?
The one you can't see.
The one you don't see, and Boots throws a lot of those shots, and that's why I say in 4 rounds, no disrespect to Xander, but he'll be done with in 4 rounds. And then, but I do say this is the fight. This is the Canelo Mayweather fight for Xander. I think Xander, after this fight, he learns a lot. He comes back and he becomes a monster. Watch what I tell you.
Yo, why? Where do you guys get this 4th round early stoppage? Like, where does this come from?
4. Watch. 4.
Hey, Mill City, I'm gonna tell you the truth,
bro. These are young guys, Mill. These are young guys. Nobody's waiting. Nobody has no patience. These guys, they don't have enough experience to know how to drag a guy into deep water. They don't know about that yet. These guys know how to come in there and get the job done and get up out of there.
While many were focused on Xander Zayas' size, voices from behind the scenes delivered a serious and alarming warning. Trainer Greg Hackett pointed to the pre-fight events as strong evidence that Zayas may have been quietly struggling through a brutal weight cut. Hackett shared troubling details, saying that Zayas looked badly drained, noting that he could barely speak properly and that even smiling seemed to cause him physical discomfort.
I think one of the biggest differences is when Boots said in the first press conference that Xander needed a fat camp. I think we see it now. It's kind of true. After hearing Xander speak, he could barely get his words out, and it even hurt for him to smile. So I don't know, man. His inside's probably going through it right now.
I feel you. So you think it's gonna be a lot easier fight than when we spoke the first time?
Yeah, I think his body isn't going to agree with the movements and things that he's gonna have to do to stay out of the way. I think his body will counter-react with him, and then he possibly gets stopped like in the 4th round. 4th, 5th round.
Wow, so early is gonna happen if it doesn't happen early.
Yeah, because if you think about how the body works and you think about how he stripped his body down, and then when it's gonna take for him to perform, he's gonna be asking a lot out of his system, and I think his system will counter-react. You know what I mean? It won't go the way he planned for it to go.
And if he does eat after, he'll eat after the scales, he'll eat and he feels comfortable. When he puts up a big fight, you'll be surprised and shocked, right?
Not so much surprised and shocked. It'll
it'll just be like, okay, maybe he's used to it. You know what I mean? Maybe he's used to it. Maybe that might be what it is. But for me, looking at him right now, I don't know, bro. I don't see him standing up.
So you think Boots he's gonna just roll through him, 4th round, out of here? What's next for Boots if he gets past Xander that easily? He's gonna be the guy at 154. You got Sebastian Fundora.
Yeah.
You know, you got who's the other guy? Talk to me.
Oh yeah, Josh Kelly.
Josh Kelly, yes, exactly.
Because of that painful physical toll, Greg Hackett predicted a dangerous reaction from Xander Zayas' body once the fast pace of the fight begins. He completely changed his prediction, now calling for Jaron Ennis to secure a brutal early stoppage before the 5th round. This dramatic physical contrast has completely changed the narrative of what looked like a classic boxing setup.
I mean, it's not so much that he's gonna roll him over. It's just like the pace of the fight, the speed of the fight. I think is gonna be too much for Xander's system. You know what I mean? I think when guys train for fights like this, what they do is, most of the time, what they do is just the camp is specified to the fight, so therefore they're not doing nothing that's going to get them hurt. But he did have to put some extra work in to get the weight down. I think his body is just not going to feel too good while he in there. Even if he do get rehydrated, I just think he won't feel good, dropping this low and then trying to get his weight back up. And then as far as what's next, I mean, it could be anything. You know how this game is. Guys say yeah and then they say no. So, we'll see.
It's going to be hard to say no to Boots after if he holds 2 of the titles. He's going to have that leverage, right, over everyone else. Everybody's going to say, man, I can just fight Boots. If I can beat him, I got 2 titles. Now I'm halfway there on to undisputed.
Yeah.
Media outlets are now pushing a powerful new theory that completely changes how this matchup is being viewed. Instead of the experienced veteran pulling a younger fighter into deep waters, like the famous Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Saul Alvarez dynamic, the story has now flipped entirely. This time, the bigger young prospect is seen as setting a dangerous physical trap to slow down Jaron Ennis and neutralize his elite speed. Many major outlets believe the oddsmakers heavily favoring Ennis may be overlooking Xander Zayas' huge physical advantages, suggesting the young champion could use his natural size, sharp jab, and strong distance control to completely disrupt the challenger's rhythm.
Does Xander Zayas look weight trained? How do I feel about it? Xander Zayas does look weight trained, but he's 23. When you're older, okay, and you put that on your body and you lose a bunch of weight, it's harder to do that. But think about Debo. Think about Devin Haney and what he was doing, that Ant-Man power he has to shrink and grow. You see Conor McGregor, remember those days? Oh my God. But then they rehydrate and they're more healthy on fight night than someone who is in their 30s or late 20s even. So with that, I'm going to say, look out for him being weight trained, but you may be surprised by his performance. I do have Boots winning the fight, and I think he's special. But if Boots lose, then that means either he's not special, or he is, and Xander Zayas is more special than we thought.
Despite all the chaos and growing rumors, the camp of Jaron Ennis stayed unusually calm. Bozy Ennis, Boots' father and trainer, showed no concern when faced with the reality of Xander Zayas' massive frame. He openly admitted that Zayas is simply too big for the division and will likely have to move up in weight soon. But he also delivered a sharp warning about depending too much on an opponent's difficult weight cut as a natural advantage.
It's Xander didn't do any interviews yesterday. I believe his team said for sure he's moving up. So what does that mean for you when being on the opponent's side, when you see that, when you kind of, what does that behavior mean?
Well, I've been said that he was too big. He was going to move up anyway. So, you know what I mean? But he's taking a chance, you know what I mean? And he want to be great. So, I mean, like I said, I respect Xander for taking the fight. A lot of guys didn't want to fight Boots.
Bozy Ennis dismissed the idea that a difficult weight cut automatically guarantees victory, pointing out that youth and determination can still make a fighter dangerous no matter how drained he may look on the scale. It was a smart psychological approach, making sure his fighter would not fall into the trap of underestimating a champion who might be struggling physically.
With this weight issue that Xander seems to be going through, does that work in the game plan for you? Like maybe more body shots, more movement?
Some people do, some people don't. You know what I mean? Xander, and then you got to look at it. Xander, 23 years old. He's young, man. So his heart is in it. You know what I mean?
What do you think the crowd's going to be like tomorrow?
It's going to be nice, man, because it's a Puerto Rican land.
Wow. And Philly's an hour and a half away, something like that?
Yeah.
So do you expect a big, heavy turnout for you guys out here?
Oh, it's going to be a nice turnout for us, yes. Yeah.
just looking at the division, obviously first things first with Xander, you got to get the win tomorrow, but just who stylistically is maybe more difficult in the division, like a Fundora, Virgil Ortiz, like between those two guys?
I don't think none of them. It's difficult for Boots. If Boots on his game plan, you know what I mean? If he do what he's supposed to do. Boots got so many different ways of fighting, man. Like I keep on telling you, they ain't seen the best Boots yet. And I hope Xander bring it out of him. Then they'll see.
Even with Bozy Ennis showing confidence, legendary champion Andre Ward stepped in to point out a hidden defensive weakness in Jaron Ennis's explosive style. Ward raised serious concerns, explaining that because Boots is so naturally gifted on offense, he can sometimes overlook his defensive responsibilities. He warned that Ennis often gets caught with clean shots because he leans too much on his athletic ability. Against a much bigger unified champion like Xander Zayas, taking clean punches on the inside could become a dangerous mistake. Zayas' size and reach make him uniquely capable of punishing those defensive openings, turning Ward's warning into a serious reality check for anyone expecting an easy night for Ennis.
If you're assessing a fight, let me help the YouTubers out there. Let me help the guys that are watching these fights and reporting on these fights. When you see a fighter get hit with a two-piece or a combination, you don't just say, oh, he took that well. No, you can say he took that well, but you always got to think about if he's fighting somebody else. If he took that well against this guy, but if he's fighting somebody else that can hit a little bit harder, that's a little bit more accurate, that can get that shot through a lot quicker, that same shot that I keep seeing him get hit with fight in and fight out could be a knockout shot or a shot that actually hurts him next time. That's how you actually view a fight. You look at it and say, man, I was interested. He keep getting hit with this 1-2. Man, he ain't got out the way and made no adjustment. Man, he got away with that tonight, but man, that's a concern because if he fights this guy, man, that may not be the same story. So that's something you have to look at with Jaron Boots Ennis. But for Xander, I like him personally. I like his movement. I like the Puerto Rican heritage. I like how he's leaned into that and embraced that. Man, he's a good kid. And all these things can be said about Jaron Boots Ennis as well, but I'm just talking about Xander right now.
Adding even more fuel to this unpredictable matchup is an amateur background that sparked a surprising break from the usual consensus. Rising prospect Floyd Schofield went against the majority by boldly picking Xander Zayas to win by split decision. Schofield based his opinion on a deep rivalry and personal history that goes back to when he and Zayas were just 11 years old competing in amateur tournaments. While he openly praised Jaron Ennis for his Philly style and punching power, he focused on the same weakness that Andre Ward pointed out. Boots simply gets hit too often.
What do you think about this weekend? Xander Zayas and Boots.
I got my boy, Xander, by, let's see, split or unanimous decision. I'm leaning towards split decision. That's just like I said, me and Xander, we've been around each other since we was...
Xander gonna knock Boots' ass out.
I won't think out.
You gotta knock Boots' ass out.
Now, like I said, Xander, my boy, we knew each other since we was 11, going to all these amateur tournaments.
He said that. He wants you to win.
Yeah, Georgia and Florida is so close. But
yeah, that's how I got
Xander.
We gonna ride with our guy.
By domination. I just don't think... I like Boots. Don't get me wrong. I like Boots. I like the Philly style that he be doing. I like the slickness, but I just don't think that he got it all to beat Xander. I know he got the power, he got the speed. I just don't think he get hit a lot. I mean, so we gonna see though. May the best man win. I mean, I think it's overall a 50-50 fight.
Floyd Schofield's confident prediction added another layer of insider belief to the upset narrative, showing that those who have known and competed against Xander Zayas genuinely believe he has the skills and tools to stop the hype surrounding Jaron Ennis.
116-111. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a spirited fight. It's going to be competitive. But Ennis will dial up a few sequences that are overwhelming. And I think perhaps drop Xander Zayas. Xander will get his ass up. Xander will fight. He will fight competitive. He will make it to that final bell. And he will have people saying, we like this. This kid could go.
Right.
But Jaron Ennis, decision.
Sean Porter, I want to revisit a statement that I made about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said that Boots and his dad don't game plan, and I got on the highway, left the podcast. I got on the highway, and it just thought came to me like, it's not that they don't game plan. We know. I know. I was talking to myself. I'm like, that they love his talent. They can't get past his gifts. but they've also never had to game plan for anybody. Shukajan is probably the only one that they had to, and he probably was still just a little hard-headed, and in that moment, had the moment, we're past it. I think they know how to game plan. I think they're going to be game planning and ready to
They never got to plan B?
They never had to go to plan
crazy.
B. Never had to, you know. And funny enough, like that's when I was talking about game plan, like he probably mixes
Well, I think the plan B is built into what he does.
He's mixing in B and C, you know. And again, but that's when discipline, right there. This kid, I have no shadow of a doubt. I got A, B, and C, and I'm going to be disciplined when I go to A, when I go to C, and when I go to B. Oh, wow, this dude right here juggling them, you know what I mean, and getting away with it along the way. I think it's going to be a great, exciting fight. I really do in my gut. I feel like this is going to be a great one. The one at the end of it, we talked about this thing for an entire episode, and for good reason. That's how good this fight's
This could be like Porter Spence.
I think it has a lot of potential to be like a fight exciting like that. Maybe Thurman and Porter, because I know we was thumping each other. Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if we thumping each other. I don't know if they can thump each other like that and still stand up, because both of them are, you know, they can throw him, but I think Boots is just going to be too much for him over the course of 12 rounds.
As the final hours count down to the opening bell, the boxing world remains completely divided by what they saw on the scales. We are now looking at a matchup that could either become a tactical masterpiece or a complete physical collapse. Will Xander Zayas' towering frame and natural size become the perfect trap to slow down the most dangerous fighter in the division? Or will the harsh reality of a brutal weight cut leave him drained, creating the perfect opening for Jaron Ennis to break him down in the early rounds? Drop those predictions in the comments. That's all for today. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. Stay tuned and we will catch you in the next.